Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to the session. I truly appreciate that each one of you who has joined the session today wants to upskill themselves. You want to learn new things. You want to stay abreast of the latest happenings. I truly appreciate that. This is my name, Bharani Kumar. I happen to be digital transformation expert and Industrial Revolution 4.0 implementer. I also happen to be director of Innodatatics, which is a USA based analytics consulting firm. I'm also director of 360 Digit MG. Digit stands for digital transformation. We believe there is a wave of digital transformation going on in the world that we live in. I believe that we need to manage the data that is getting generated and we need to govern and secure the data. Hence the name Digit MG, Digital Transformation Management and Governance. And why 360? Because we provide 360-degree services to our students and to our participants who undergo training through us, which includes job placement guarantee programs as well. I am an alumnus of Indian School of Business and IIT, which happen to be globally the top, universities in India. Globally also, they are ranked amazingly well. I have overall 15 years of experience and I would have done until now 100 plus consulting engagements and 40 plus have been into core big data, data analytics, artificial intelligence, etc. From 8 years, since 8 years, I have been delivering trainings as well. This does not mean I am a full time trainer. 70% of my time I spend doing consulting for various companies across the globe, and 30% of my time I deliver trainings. So, the best part is the rich experience of performing consulting projects is brought to the training curriculum. That way, what happens is we kind of bridge the gap between academia and industry expectations. This is how we try to bridge the gap. I would have delivered training to 4,000 plus professionals across the globe until now. I will speak about a few consulting projects which I have done for various customers. But even before that, a few more things about my profile. I have PMP, which is Project Management Professional, Agile Certified Practitioner, and Risk Management Professional. These three certifications are from PMI, USA, United States of America. I've done my Agile Project Management Foundation and Practitioner from APMG UK, and this was in the space of DSDM Attorn, Dynamic System Development Methodology Attorn. I've done my Lean Six Sigma Green, Black, and Master Black Belt from our ABQSA, Quality Society of Australasia, Australia and Asia put together. I'm a Tableau certified professional, information technology infrastructure library certified. I've done bunch of Scrum certifications. I'm a certified auditor, and there's one thing that you please don't do. Okay, this certification from TCS is extremely invalid. Invalid in the sense, except for this specific company, no other company values this certification. I've taken it just for the sake of. I've started off working with HSBC, then I worked with ITC Infotech, I worked with Infosys, and the last company with which I was employed as an employee was with Deloitte. So these are the various companies I work with. And then I also happen to be a chief data scientist on multiple companies such as Athena Technologies, Medley Med, Brontobite Analytics, and Sixbis. Sixbis is a Malaysian firm. Athena Technologies is a USA based firm. Brontobytes is a startup in the space of healthcare, and so is Medley Med. I happen to be a visiting faculty of Watson Business School. This is in short about my profile. And now let me speak about the kind of work that I do for various companies. So I'll go to my LinkedIn profile first. This is exactly what I've spoken. I happen to be Industrial Revolution 4.0 implementer, chief data scientist, and technology advisor for 4 firms. And this is my profile. I'm a director of Innodatatics, advisory committee member of Sixbis, chief data scientist on Brontobite Athena Technologies, director of 360 Digit MG, and these are the other 4 firms. These are the certifications which I have spoken about, right? So that's in short about my profile. While we have asked you to, I believe you all were shared my LinkedIn profile, and a lot of you all have connected with me on my LinkedIn profile. However, I'm just posting it here just in case anyone wants to connect with me. And there is a sticky message. I'm posting my LinkedIn profile there here. If you are able to see my screen, you just need to click on that, and please feel free to connect with me. We can stay connected even after the sessions. All right. Having said that, I also wish to speak about a few projects that we have done. Let me go to the post and then explain a lot about this. So number one, let me speak about Panasonic and how we have partnered with Panasonic and what kind of projects we have included as part of the training curriculum. Panasonic EdTech Solutions has Panasonic Innovation Center. Panasonic has 3 innovation centers. One is in USA, North America, another is in Japan, and the third innovation center is in India. And 360 Digit MG is the only technology partner, education technology partner with Panasonic EdTech and Panasonic India Innovation Center. What is the kind of work that they do? Let me briefly speak about that. And even before that, for people who are assuming that Panasonic is only into home appliances, let me tell you that, of course, Panasonic is in the space of home appliances, but Panasonic is also into healthcare. They're also into automotive. They're also into industrial automation. Industrial automation. And they do a lot of innovative things as part of their innovation center. Let us take example of air conditioner, aircon or AC. In a lot of countries, people usually do not use aircon or AC during the winter season and rainy season. They use only during the summer season. That means there will be a lot of dust which gets accumulated. The moment there is a lot of dust which gets accumulated, what would happen? Your cooling effect would get reduced. Cooling effect reduces. Number two, your electricity bill increases. So electricity consumption increases. What else might happen? The third thing is a few of the components might fail because you're forcibly running that. So components might fail, component failure. Hence, what the Innovation Center, Panasonic Innovation Center has done is they have placed industrial IoT sensors on the AC and they started capturing the data on it. And what kind of data were they capturing? If a lot of dust gets accumulated, if it crosses a specific threshold, they started sending alerts to their technicians. And what would the technicians do? Technicians will go and perform the cleaning or they will fix the issue even before the issue arises. Or they also, started triggering messages to the customers saying that, dear customers, you can clean the dust yourself. And they shared the data and information on how much dust got accumulated, how do you clean. Amazing. What would happen then? Your cooling effect would become normal. Electricity bills will get reduced. Your components will not fail often, thereby leading to supreme customer satisfaction. These are the kind of use cases and projects which are brought into our training curriculum so that we bring you the best. A lot of stuff. We have also launched our first world's first full stack data science program in collaboration with City and Guilds UK, which is one of the leading universities in UK, and it has 150 years of history. We have also partnered with UTM Space, which is one of the top 5 universities in Malaysia, and we have collaborated with IBM in launching our programs. And people who enroll for our main program would get IBM certificate, UTM certificate, City and Guild certificate, and the projects are backed by Panasonic as well. Okay, next. We do a lot of projects. And as part of one of the projects for a hospital here back in India, we have built a forecasting model to forecast the number of COVID-19 cases with an accuracy of 98%. We built a forecasting model with an accuracy of 98%. And then there are a lot of things. So this is yet another project which we have done for the government here. So people were manually tracking and counting the number of vehicles which cross a specific junction. What we have done is we have made use of computer vision and convolution neural network. And the moment any vehicle goes through this bounding box, it would automatically track and count and automatically record the details in the backend. Look at that, it has tracked. So what would happen is if we can give this information to Roads and Buildings Ministry, they will probably expand the road or maybe have a traffic signal there to moderate the traffic. These are all the possibilities. And look at this, automatically information gets tracked in the backend database. This is for demonstration on Excel. So we have 2 heavy moving vehicles with multi-axle, so on and so forth. We have also built a chatbot, artificial intelligence driven chatbot. Yeah, so this was for, I'll just do this. This was for one of our customers in the space of food chain. And people, if you be to say Hyderabad, people from across the globe are joining in, right? So if you be to Hyderabad, you have to taste biryani. That's one of the authentic foods here. Yeah. Next, we have also built a behavioral analytics system. This was a project done by one of our participants, of course, alongside our team of data scientists. But She has done an amazing job. And we believe in giving our participants internship opportunity to work on the live projects. They work alongside our team of data scientists. So they gain that rich experience. This would put a bounding box around the face and determine whether you're a male or a female with certain percentage. And it would determine whether you're sleepy or whether you're neutral or whether you're happy, right? Behavioral analytics. This is one of the key things happening now. A lot of amazing things. I'll speak about a few more as well. There's one thing, we can track the vehicle, we can track the number plate, and we have also built a robot. Let me play that. Hopefully, I don't know whether you can hear or not, but let me try out. So this is one such project that we have done. And we have also built an automatic attendance tracking system along with the thermal sensor. So just have a look at this. I know it's like watching a mute movie, but I cannot help much because I'm using noise cancellation headphone and a noise cancellation mic. So that's the flip side of the story. But this is a system that we have built which is going to track the temperature, thermal sensor automatically, and then raise an alarm. It will also keep tracking the behavior of the various employees. I'll speak more about this project, or I would demonstrate it live for you guys. We have this product which we have built. Already we have deployed it for a few of our customers. So we will show this. It's all about artificial intelligence, using videos, using photos, tracking the various things. We also have behavioral analytics, which will track the mood of the staff, okay, on whether the staff is happy or not, and then take appropriate actions. In case of fire situation, it will also check on whether the people are stuck somewhere or not. So these are all the live projects that we bring to the training curriculum. Okay, so let me see how many of y'all are there. Wonderful. We are fast approaching 3,000 people. Having said this, let me also see. Okay, so here we go. So we have this domain analytics trainings also, which we have, and I'll speak more about this as we proceed further. We have all these accreditations that we have and all these sample certificates. These are the sample certificates that we have, and these are the international accreditations that we have. And this is a 1-year full stack data science program which we have launched. And people who want to upskill, let me quickly tell you that future is looking bleak. Millions of Americans could lose their jobs in a coronavirus recession. This recession is going to be bad, really bad. And IMF chief has to say that This recession would be worse that the humankind has ever seen. And having said that, the job opportunities are umpteen. Now, welcome to this program on data science using Python. So, what we shall do is we are going to spend the initial time understanding about data science, understanding about how to do data science projects, so on and so forth. And towards the later half of the day, of the daily session, we would get into Python and we will practically do the stuff which we have learned theoretically. Okay, so let me ask you questions here. Are y'all excited? Type. There you go. Yep. Please, can you respond to the message? Are you all excited to get started? Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Sure. So let's get into our subject and then I'll speak more about that. There will be people who are just like, okay, get started, get started. These are the kind of people who might not get a job because they lose the big picture. Hence, I request you all to please pay attention and have some patience, friends. The first and foremost thing which people fail to understand, especially the newbies, are those people, or the newbies, right? The people who are new to data analytics. They just want to learn algorithms and algorithms. Ultimately, they don't get a job. Roughly 90% of the people who are getting trained are not getting jobs for these reasons because they lose the big picture. And the big picture is here: CRISP DM, cross industry standard process for data mining. This is one of the project management methodologies which is being adopted extensively to deliver amazing outputs. So we will be first having a glimpse at CRISP DM project management methodology. Of course, we will not do a deep dive into each and every aspect, but at a high level, we will be understanding this. So here we go. The first and foremost step on any project, not just this project, on any project, is to understand the business problem. For example, say a specific bank, HSBC, for example, comes to you because you all are data scientists and says that, do you know what? Can you help us fix this business problem? What is a business problem? Lot of customers, lot of customers are defaulting on the loan. They are taking the loan, but they are not repaying the loan on time. A lot of customers are taking the loan, but they are not repaying the loan. This is the problem which the bank has. And now you are the data scientist who has to solve this. How would you solve? The first thing is you need to record the business objective and record the business constraints. Okay, you need to record the business objectives and business constraints. Here we go. Whenever you record the business objectives and business constraints, it has to be short and sweet, preferably 2 to 3 terms. For example, record the business objective. Here, given the business problem, you want to minimize the defaulters. You want to minimize the loan defaulters. That's the objective which you want to achieve given this business problem. And what is the second thing? If you want to minimize the defaulters, I have a question for you all. Say you built a machine learning algorithm which will predict on whether a customer who has applied for the loan will default on the loan or not default on the loan. Will a customer default on the loan or not default on the loan? Assume. Your algorithm is going to give you probability values. It gives you values such as, say there is 90% probability that a customer would default on the loan. Think about this and answer. Don't jump in. My questions won't be straightforward. Okay. If your algorithm predicts that this customer who has applied for the loan might default on the loan, and there is 90% probability or 90% chance that customer who has applied for the loan will default on the loan. In this case, if this is the case, would you approve the loan or would you reject the loan? Let me take a poll. Okay, let me go here and let me quickly take a poll. So let me start up. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I need to come up with a new poll. So let me ask that. Will you, okay, what decision will you take if the probability of a customer defaulting on the loan is 90%? Will you approve the loan or will you reject the loan? Can you all please respond to this? There we go. Please, can you all respond to this poll? Tricky. Mixed reactions, mixed questions. All right. So, wonderful. So the polls are pretty clear that it's 73% of you all want to reject the loan. Let me go here and tell you that. If you keep rejecting the loan, say a lot of people say that, do you know what? There is high chance that a person might default on the loan, so we will reject the loan. If you reject the loan, what will happen to the bank profits? What will happen to the profits of the bank? Would the profits of the bank increase or decrease? And how do banks make profits? Banks lend a loan, and when they lend loan, they get interest rate. And when they get interest amount, that is going to help them become profitable or generate profits. If you are rejecting the loan, then you are not even lending the loan. So forget about getting the interest rate and forget about making profits. So businesses would put a constraint on you, a limitation that while you try to minimize the defaulters, maximize the profits. While you try to minimize the defaulters, maximize the profits. So how can I tweak this algorithm? Pay utmost attention, friends, because these are the kind of things which you will not learn if you probably just are someone who wants to just learn the algorithms. Then you won't be fit for the industry. You won't receive jobs. These are very important finer nuances. So pay attention. So what you might want to do is here, rather than just predicting on whether a person will default or not default, you can use a technique called as survival analytics. Forget if you don't understand that, right? So you predict on whether a person will default. If he's going to default, after how many installments will a person default? After how many installments will a person default? If the algorithm says that the person is going to default after 28 every month installments, and there is 90% probability that this person will default, then we can still approve the loan but reduce the loan tenure to 24 months. So you want the customer to repay the loan amount within 24 months because your prediction model is predicting that the person would default in 28 months. This is how you, alongside meeting your business objectives, try to also abide by the business constraints. Very, very important. If you do not understand this, then you hopefully know about this. GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. Very simple. Garbage in, garbage out. All right. Once the business problem is clear, you proceed further with next step, which is data collection. Even before I go to data collection, you need to be aware of the various data types. There are certain data types. So I'll be now switching to the slides. I have created the 20 hours free program, and I would go here and then let me look at this. Now this one. So I'll go to module 2 EDA part and then explain about the data types here. All these presentations, recorded videos, data sets, code, out of that, a few things will reach you. How you're going to receive those, I'll let you know later. All right. So the first step is understanding the business problem. Once you understand this, you go to the next step, which is data collection. Okay, you go to the next step, which is data collection. Within data collection, you first need to understand the data types, in which we are going to understand continuous and discrete data types. You need to understand continuous and discrete data types. So here we go. What do you mean by continuous data and what do you mean by discrete data? Any data which can be represented in a decimal format. If you can represent data in decimal format and if it makes sense, then it is called as continuous data. Any data, if you represent in decimal format, the moment you represent in decimal format, if it does not make sense, then it is called as discrete data. So on one side you have discrete data and on another side you have continuous data. Let me quote a few examples here. If I say my weight is 80 kgs, you would say, all right, that's acceptable. Or I can also say my weight is 80.06 kgs. Doesn't matter, you'll say okay, because I'm more accurately trying to provide my weight. I can also say that my weight is 80.0657 kgs. Doesn't matter. The reason being, to whatever granularity, to whatever accuracy level, you can represent your weight. That means, despite representing my weight in decimal format, it is still making sense. If it makes sense, it is continuous data. If it does not make sense, it is discrete. So let us also look at discrete data example here. If I say I have one laptop, you would say, all right, I can say I have two laptops. But if I say I have 1.69 laptops, what would you say? Say, hey, this guy has gone mad. How can you break your laptop into pieces? Either you'll have one laptop or two laptops. You cannot have 1.69 laptops. The moment you represent this in decimal format, it is not making sense. If it does not make sense, this is called as discrete data. Same is the case with number of cars. I can say a one car or two cars. If I say a 1.78 cars, does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it is decimal data, discrete data. If it makes sense, it is continuous data. To gauge your understanding, I'm going to post a question here. Let me ask that question here. Reset the poll, a new poll question. What is height of a person? Is it going to be continuous data or will it be discrete data? Yep, here we go. Can you all please answer to this poll question? Can you please answer this poll question? Let's see. Wonderful. Wonderful. 85% of the people are responding it correctly. That's good. Very good on your part. All right. So let me explain for people who weren't getting it right. Let me erase the entire stuff here. And then I'll get back. Uh-oh. All right. So here, when I say height of a person, height of a person can be represented as say 5.7 or 5.7.5 or to any granularity level you can represent. If you can represent something in this decimal format, points. And if it makes sense, of course it makes sense. If it makes sense, that is called as continuous data. Okay, now let me ask another question to you guys here. Number of people you have in your family. Is this continuous data or discrete data? This is so very important that everything else depends on this, on what algorithm you use and all that. Can you please answer this? Mm-hmm. All right. Wonderful. All right. So I can answer this. So there is slight confusion here. Number of family members, number of people you have in your family, number of family members. You can say that we are 5 people at home, or you can say you have 6 people at home. Can you say you have 5.87 people who stay at home? Can you say this, guys? Can you please use the chat window? Can I say that I have 5.87 people at home? Can you say that? Please, can you use chat window, my dear friends? Or let me wait for your response. No, absolutely, that's the answer. If you represent something in decimal format, if it does not make sense, then that data would be called as discrete data. A simple yet very powerful exercise. Why did we just discuss that? For various reasons. Because we are going to learn about machine learning algorithms called as linear regression, and you are going to learn about another machine learning algorithm called as logistic regression. We will use linear regression to build prediction models if you have continuous output variable, and logistic when you have discrete in 2 categories. We'll discuss about that more later. Okay. Once you understand the data types, we proceed further with data collection. You go collect the data from the customer. And when you want to collect the data, Do you think, say you have a customer, HSBC bank, and then you are a data scientist, okay, with say Innodatatics. Say you are a data scientist with Innodatatics, an analytics consulting firm. If you want to solve a business problem, would your customer say that? HSBC says that. Do you know what? We have all the data available here in the database. All the data since the bank formed, entire data is being recorded here in a database. Take this data, data scientist, and you pick what data is more meaningful for you. Would the bank say that? Never ever the bank would say that. Bank would say, customer would say, dear data scientist, tell me what data you want and I'm going to supply that data to you. Tell me what data you want and I'm going to supply the data to you. But by no means I can give you access to the complete database. By no means can we give you access to the complete database. Very important stuff, right? And hence, a data scientist is expected to perform a market research to understand whether similar kind of problems were solved in the past or not. It's the same problem. A lot of customers are defaulting. They are taking the loan, but they are defaulting on the loan. A lot of customers are defaulting on the loan. So then you have to do a market research to understand on whether similar kind of projects were solved in the past. Similar projects. Because that would give you a good head start on what variables you have to go and check with the customer. What variables or what data you need to proceed further with your analytics. If the data is already available with the customer, if the data are already available with the customer, then it is called as secondary data source. Data which is already available with a bank. Bank will already have the data information about all the customers who have taken the loan, how many customers have repaid the loan, how many customers have not paid the loan, what is your every month installment. Everything would be available in the database. So the data is already available. However, say based on your market research, you found a variable which was not available with the customer. Say as a data scientist, you did a market research and you found that there is a specific variable such as number of friends customer has on social media, that is Facebook or LinkedIn. Okay, such as Facebook or LinkedIn. This information obviously bank would not have. If you want this data also to be made available for your analysis, then it's not available in the secondary data source. So what would you do then? You have to resort to a mechanism called as primary data source or primary data collection mechanism. And here what you do is you go to social media such as Facebook or LinkedIn, and then you scrape the data. And people who do not have a LinkedIn account, people who do not have a Facebook account, please create. Please create. Because if you want to get into the field of data science, you need to have social media account And you need to be aware of how to scrape the data, how to get the data from Facebook and LinkedIn. You should be aware of that. So again, I repeat, data which is already available with the customer is called as secondary data source. Data which is not available with the customer, which you have to go and get now, that's called as primary data source. Now, question to you. Let me see who will get it right. Enoch. Okay, that's okay. I just am removing a few people from the group because they are causing some kind of ruckus. Okay, friends, please be a little professional here. A few people are continuously trying to bother us with their chat messages. We just removed them, banned them. So please maintain some respect to the fellow people. Iman Rahmat Hidayat supposedly has started posting his LinkedIn profile to do some marketing here. He has been banned. And yep, he would no longer be made available. And there are other people such as Prathamesh, who was frequently posting incorrect messages. So Enoch, if you're there, I request you to pay complete attention to such messages and just ban them. We need not entertain such people. They are not worth. Okay, sorry about that, friends, but we maintain utmost professionalism in our trainings, and yeah, this is for everyone's benefit. Okay, so let me ask another question here. Which data collection source is easy? Question to you all. Is it primary data collection mechanism or secondary data collection mechanism? Yep, here goes the question. Can you all please answer this? Can you all please answer this? Wonderful. Wonderful responses. Amazing, guys. 70% of y'all are answering it correctly. Hats off to you guys. So you have a very good understanding. Okay. So secondary data source means data which is already available with you. If the data is already available, then it's very easy. Data is there. Just go pick the data and then proceed further with your analysis. Since data is already available, take the data and proceed further with your analysis. If the data is not available, then you have to go collect the data. Then you have to go and collect the data. If you want to go and collect the data, that is a costly affair. Because as I've told you, you have to probably go to social media and scrape the data in the example that I've provided. So you have to extract the data. If you have to extract the data, then obviously you need a social media account. And if there is any project requirement in a company, and say they are interviewing you for data science position, and they say that, okay, we have a project wherein you need to extract the data from social media, and then you have to analyze the data. Then you cannot say, I don't have a social media account. You just lose your opportunity there. Hope that answers your question, Aniruddha. You had that question, right? Okay. Then, friends, all these examples, all these recorded videos, all these videos are getting recorded as we speak now. We're going to share it with you all. Okay, you can watch the recorded video again. Next step. Once you understand or once you have the data, you proceed further with data cleansing, data preparation. So you prepare your data, you make it much better. Do you know what? As part of our main stream program, we explain about surveys, experiments, all that. We explain about many things, and then we get started with data cleansing. Within data cleansing, there are again bunch of things. But for our 10-hour program, all this is out of scope. So let me get to exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis. So what you do is you perform the first thing, which is called as first moment business decision. Now let me do one thing. Let me go here. Let me go to that particular slide and explain you all on what is first moment business decision. Say you have a company called as 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is a retail store. It's a Japanese company which has its stores across the ASEAN market. It's heavily there in US, etc. Say you are CEO, say you are CEO of 7-Eleven, and say you have your branches in Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, etc., and in various other countries. The first question that you as a CEO should ask and would ask is, on an average, what are our sales across these locations? On an average, what are our profits across these locations? On an average, how many people work across these locations? These are the kind of questions that you will ask as a CEO of the company. All right. Then, since these are the first set of questions which any senior management person should ask and would ask, right? This is the reason why mean, median, and mode, these are called as measures of central tendency. We will talk more about these, okay? We will talk more about that. Hence, these mean, median, mode are called as first moment business decisions. Why is it called as first moment business decision? Because these are the set of first, these are a set of initial questions which any management person should ask and would ask. Okay, and we have three measures of central tendency. Let us discuss about these three measures of central tendency. Even before that, just to do a quick recap, we are discussing about a structured project management methodology to handle data science projects. So let me put it here. This is a structured data science methodology, okay, in handling projects. Data science projects, artificial intelligence projects, big data projects. There has to be a structured approach in handling your projects. This is a structured approach. CRISP-DM stands for Cross-Industry Standard Process for Data Mining, and this has 6 phases or 6 stages. 6 stages or 6 phases. And out of these 6 stages or phases, the first is understanding the business problem. And once you understand the business problem, you need to record the business objectives and business constraints. Once you know about these two, you proceed further with the next step, which is data collection. Even before you collect the data, you should be aware of the various data types. And we discussed about 2 data types, continuous as well as discrete. You have continuous data and discrete data. Okay. Once you are clear with the data types, You come here and collect the data. There are two data collection mechanisms, primary and secondary. Which one is easier or cheaper? This one. Secondary data source is easily available and it is cheap to get the data. Primary data source is costly because you need to scrape the data or conduct a survey. It's costly. Once you get the data, you move to the third step. And within third step, we are discussing about exploratory data analysis, in which we will be talking about first moment business decision or measures of central tendency. And then we will calculate these measures on Python. I truly appreciate that you're taking your time off in upskilling yourself. I will also ensure that I give you the maximum benefits out of these 10 hours of training that we have. Once again, just let me do a quick recap. The first thing is project management methodology. And a few of you all have been asking me on, hey, can you please share with us this mind map link? Hey, do not worry, friends. So I'm going to post this link here. This mind map link. Let me copy that and let me post it here. And there we go. So people who want to use a mind map, it's available for you all. There we go. I've also sent it on the chat window. I've also sticked it here. So you are just a click away to access the mind map. We will be updating this mind map periodically, and always you would get the best, mind map ever. All right. I mean, I think when you do a deep dive, when you double click on that, you'd find more information around that. But that much amount of information is not needed for this 10-hour session. That's why I kind of avoided expanding it completely. All right. So you understand the business problem, collect the data by understanding the data types. Once you collect the data, proceed further with the third step, which is data cleansing, preparation, exploratory data analysis. All mean the same. These are a few terms which are interchangeably used. These are all interchangeably used. And here we have exploratory data analysis. So first moment business decision is also called as measures of central tendency. You have three: mean, median, mode. Why do we call these as measures of central tendency? Because as a senior management person, you would be interested in these three measures. On an average, what are our sales across these three locations? On an average, what are our profits across these three locations? On an average, how many people do we employ? These are the initial set of questions that we ask. Now, let us understand more about the mean, median, and mode. So let me go here. Yep. And let me open a new sheet and then try to explain you. Say there is a data set A, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 numbers. And say I want to calculate the mean of these numbers. What would be the mean and how would you calculate that? Mean of these numbers is simply put summation of I equal to 1 until n. That means you want to add all these numbers divided by n. You want to add, this is the addition or summation symbol. If I substitute I equal to 1 here, it will become x1 summation. So you need to add. When you say I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I2 plus I equal to 3, I equal to 4, I equal to 5. And then you have 5 numbers. So you have 5. So how do you do this? X1 is 1, X2 is 2, X3 is 3, X4, X5. So 3, plus 4 plus 5 divided by 5. So it is nothing but 15 divided by 5, and then you get 3. And if you want to calculate the same thing, using average, you say average of these three numbers. Job done. You have the mean. Now, I'm going to take another data set. This time I'm going to have the same numbers. All the numbers are the same. I'm going to change only the last number from 5 to 700. Since I'm changing only the last number from 5 to 700, what would happen now? What will be the average of these numbers? Can someone calculate and let me know on what will be this number? Quickly, let me look at the chat window. Oh, there we go. Yeah, quickly, can you respond someone on what is the average of these numbers? If it is difficult, then let me tell you that it's just average. So you need to say average of all these numbers. It would be 142. Just because I changed a single number from 5 to 700, just because I changed a single number from 5 to 700, average is changing completely from 3 to 142. This average is changing completely just because of this single number. And these kind of numbers, which are extremely different than the remaining numbers, this number, which is very, very big, very large in comparison to the other numbers, is called as outlier or extreme value. It is called as outlier or extreme value. Whenever you have such extremely high or extremely small numbers in your data, your average would become very different. This is the drawback. This is the disadvantage of mean or average. To solve this, we have another measure which is called as median. Median is the middlemost number of any data set. It's the middlemost number of any data set. Let me erase these things. What is the middlemost number of the data set? Let's see. Here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the middle number of this data set happens to be 3. Or you can just say median. And when you select all these numbers and click on enter, it says it's 3. We will understand in Excel first, and then we will do the same thing in Python. Okay, we will do the same thing in Python. So here, what is the middlemost number? The middlemost number happens to be 3. Middlemost number is 3. So the median is 3 here. Median does not get influenced by outliers. Despite having an outlier or an extreme value, in your data set, your median will still remain the same. It will be 3. It won't be 142. This is the advantage. Third thing, since this is done, let me give you yet another data set. If you have a data set which is bunch of categorical data, say you have done some customer satisfaction survey, one person says that that person is satisfied with the training. Another person is dissatisfied with the training. The third person is satisfied. The fourth person is neutral. Fifth person is again satisfied, so on and so forth. Then when you have a data set wherein you have non-numbers categorical data which doesn't have numbers. In this scenario, mean and median are not applicable. You cannot calculate mean or median for categorical data. Then what should I do? What should I use? You use a third measure called as mode. Mode is that measure which repeats itself maximum times, or that value which repeats maximum times. What gets repeated maximum times here? Satisfied is appearing 3 times, dissatisfied only once, and neutral once. Since satisfied is getting repeated 3 times, mode here is satisfied. Satisfied is a mode because that is getting repeated maximum times. Okay, and that's the reason why we have satisfied as a mode. All right, so we understand mode, mean, median, mode. Wonderful. Two people have asked me the same question. Okay, let me solve that. Say you have a data set, another data set. And wonderful question is what you guys have asked. I've seen that. If you have numbers 1, 2, 703, and 4, then what will be the mean of this data set? See, I come up with another data set, which is D. Okay, here. What will be the median? It should be the middlemost value. So what we do is, if you have a data set which is not sorted in a sequence, you first sort it in a sequence. You sort it in ascending order or descending order, and then you choose the middle number. And when you sort this data, and when you then choose the middle value, that would be the median. Right? That is what we do basically. Then you'll have more modes. You'll have 2 modes. Absolutely. A few of y'all are amazing guys. You have good analytical skills. I truly appreciate that. Now what we shall do is we will resort to Python, and then we will do some Python programming on the same. So to do the Python programming, people, you need not do it along with me. We will record the session. In fact, we are recording the session, and we will share with you the recorded video. Okay, via some channel. Tomorrow I'll let you know on how we are going to share that. So for now, just follow what I'm trying to do. You just say download Anaconda. See, all these names will be a little weird. Yeah, Anaconda, Python. These are all names of snakes, right? Anyways, so you just need to say download Anaconda, go here, and then you see this option called download. Click on that. And whether you're using Windows or Macintosh or Linux, doesn't matter. Okay, so Python is operating system agnostic. It doesn't depend on which operating system you're installing your software on. And one more thing is, you have Python 3.7. That's the version, which is the latest version. So if you're using, say, Windows, click on this 64-bit graphical installer. If you have 64-bit machine, you can just Google out on how to find whether you have a 64-bit or 32-bit machine, right? Majorly, all the laptops for the last 5 years or so, if it's not older than 5 years, that means it would be a 64-bit machine. So you just click on this, install that. Just click on that and install that. When you install that, it's going to, install Anaconda for you. When you open Anaconda, I'm just trying to launch this Anaconda application. Come up. It's loading the application. Okay, this is how it will appear, friends. This is exactly how it will appear. Whatever, these are all called as IDEs. IDE means integrated development environment. Okay, integrated development environment. You can choose any of these IDEs. Doesn't matter. You can choose any of these. For us, we'll be using Spider. Everything is the same. You can launch anything of your choice, but let me launch Spider because I like animals. Okay, so Spider, Anaconda, Python, yeah, all the jokes aside. So this is how your Python would look like when you open it for the first time. I'll just remove these things not needed. Whenever you want to learn Python, you just remember one thing, that Python programming is as simple as English language. Just remember this, that's it. Whatever programming we do now, it is very, very similar to English language. Even before I do something, I have a quick question poll just to ensure that you all are active, or for me to check whether you all are active or not. Here we go with the poll question. And the question here is, which of the following measures gets influenced by outliers? Is it mean or is it median? Please, can you answer this? Please, can you all answer this? Wonderful. Wonderful. Good. I truly appreciate. Okay. Good. All right. So a few of you all are asking certain questions which are actually we would love to address. We have our people, they'll be answering you. Okay. So if you know English language, that means you know Python. It's something like that. It's very simple. And it you can actually, use this as, a calculator. If I just type 1 plus 1 and if I click on run, so this option that you see here, the black play icon with a vertical mark there, if you click on that, or if you press F9 on your keyboard, there is a key called F9 on your keyboard. If you click that, it would show the result. What is the result here? If I say 1 plus 1, it is 2. Unfortunately, friends, this portion cannot be zoomed. I cannot increase the font of this. All I can do is I can increase the font here, right? That's unfortunate thing. You can literally use it as a calculator. Say if I say this is the 1, 2, here are lines. Which line of code are you entering? That is what it means. If I say 3 multiplied by 8, and if I click on run, it says 24. Wonderful. So it is acting exactly like a calculator. If you want to become a successful data scientist, then you should start making use of such tools, programming languages, as a calculator also. Okay, very important. Next, I am going to pull up a program, and then I am going to show you the basic statistics. Of course, we'll be looking at mean, median, and mode basically, okay? And yep, until here I can probably be and then show you to you guys. Don't worry too much on this. All right. Anytime you write a hash, that means you are making a note for yourself. Say I'm making a note. And this is according to the best practice. You say you're adding numbers 1 and 1. Here, anything which you write after hash is like like a note, like a comment. So what are you doing here? You're multiplying 3 with 8. So you have just written a function. One more very important thing that you need to understand here is that we are using certain packages. What do you mean by package, or what do you mean by library? Package or library means the code which someone else has written in the past. So within Python, you'll have something called as libraries or packages. What do you mean by library? Library, you know for a fact that, think about the old days. You had libraries, book libraries. You used to get books. On similar lines, the libraries here will have code, the program, which are also called as functions. The code or program or functions, someone else would have written this in the past. Okay, someone else would have written this in the past, and we are trying to reuse that. We are trying to reuse this. As data scientists or artificial intelligence experts, our objective is to solve a business problem. Our objective is not to write the code. I mean, we have to, of course, know a little bit of programming, but you need not be an adroit expert programmer. So what we shall do is two things. You have to reuse the library, which is already available. A few libraries which you should be aware of, when it comes to Python are as follows. Just know these libraries for data science, good enough. The first one that you should be aware of is called as NumPy. Whenever you have numerical calculations, people use something called as NumPy. What is this? A library. What is library? Like book library has collection of books. Python libraries have collection of code. They have collection of code which someone else would have written in the past. Second, there is something called as SciPy. SciPy is used for scientific calculations. It is used for scientific calculations. Third, there is another package called as pandas. What is this package or library used for? It is used for data manipulation. Manipulation does not mean it's a wrong word. Manipulation means making changes to your data. Basically, that is what it means. And the fourth library that you need to be aware of is scikit-learn or sklearn. Scikit-learn or sklearn is a machine learning library. This is machine learning library. And final thing that you should be aware of is matplotlib. For now, of course, we teach about various other libraries as part of our data science training, full-blown data science training. For these 10 hours, we thought we will confine ourselves to these because we need to do justice on whatever we are teaching you. Visualization. Wonderful. So you have matplotlib, which is used for data visualization. You have scikit-learn or sklearn for machine learning. You have pandas for data manipulation, SciPy for scientific calculations, NumPy for numerical calculations. Now I have poll questions for you. Let me see how many of y'all have been active. So here we go. Question to y'all. Which library is used for machine learning purpose in Python? Okay, I think spelling for library. All right. So is it why or is it sklearn? Okay, please can you answer this? Let me see how many of y'all were active. Wonderful friends. Wonderful. Greater than 80% people are getting it right. In fact, 88% of the people got it right. Amazing. Great traction. I truly appreciate. So, yes, scikit-learn or sklearn is used as a machine learning library. I have another question for you, just to ensure that you guys get it absolutely bang on. Another question here is, which library in Python is used for data visualization? Is it NumPy or is it? This one should be pretty simple and straightforward. Please, can you answer, everyone? Wonderful. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Greater than 90% of you all have answered it right. Great job. So, exactly, matplotlib is used for data visualization. These are a few libraries which you should be aware of before we proceed further. Okay, then whenever you want to use a library, you have to write this function called import. What do you want to import? Say you want to import pandas. What is pandas used for? Pandas is used for data manipulation purpose. And you're importing pandas as PD. Why? This is just a shortcut. This is just a shortcut. If you don't do that, if you don't use this, what will happen? Let's understand that. What would happen is, in order to read the file, you should have otherwise written pandas dot read underscore CSV. Pandas dot read underscore CSV, and within the double quotes, you give the complete path of your data set along with the name of the data set and the extension file of your data set. Right? This is what you have to provide. Complete path. But then each time giving the complete name dot something would be an overkill. It will be literally an overkill. So what do we do then? We would import that as a shortcut as PD or any name that you want, you can give. PD because it's an abbreviation. I mean, it's easy, right? Pandas, PD in that way. Then if you want to read a file, you just say PD dot read underscore CSV, and within the double quotes, you have to give the complete path of the file. So what I shall now do is I shall go, because I need to explain you one thing here. So I'll go here and I'll go into data sets. I'll copy this path and then let me come back and paste it here. But when I paste it here, the one thing which would happen is it would take the Windows default path, which is a backward slash. You have to remove these because Python doesn't understand these. You have to talk with Python in the language that it understands. So you just change these. to from backward slash to forward slash. And now you can read this file. If you just say run, okay, I didn't import this, sorry, my bad. So you need to import pandas as PD first, then you need to run this line. Just place your mouse cursor anywhere on the line and just go here and click on that. That's it, done. So what has happened now is you got this file, education. So you are taking this education.csv and using this assignment operator, you're assigning it to an object called education. You're assigning it to an object called education. So if I double click on that, you have this data serial number, work experience, and GMAT. Wonderful. You have three columns: education, data serial number, work experience, and GMAT. And now, how many columns do we have here? Three columns. So it clearly says that we have three columns. And how many rows do we have? We have 773 rows. Let's see. Let me scroll down completely. Come on. It says there are only 772 because the indexing here starts from 0. 0 is also counted in Python. So from 0 to 772, in total there are 773 observations. So this is one actually, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So numbering in Python starts from 0. Indexing in Python starts from 0. When I say column 0, it will refer to this column. When I say column 1, it refers to this. When I say column 2, it refers to this. Indexing in Python starts from 0 onwards. Hope this part is clear. So, but I pay attention to smallest of the things. So let me ask this question. Let me reset the poll. Let me ask this question. Indexing in starts from 1 or 0. Yep, please can you answer this, everyone? I know you have just learned that, but I want to see how many of y'all are active, how many of y'all are inactive. Yes, 0. Absolutely. 97% of people got it right. Now, if you want to refer to any column within this, what you do is you say go to this education, okay, dot, go to this column called work experience and calculate the average of this column or the mean of the column. That's it. That's it. And it would calculate the mean for you. Okay, you just click on run. It says the mean or average is 57.5. Again, if you want to calculate the median for this, you say education dot work experience dot median, okay, which will help you calculate median for this work experience. It's like English, it's plain English language, friends. Nothing alarming about this. We should not be treating this as some alien language. It's English language. All you're saying is go to this education, this object, dot, refer to the column called work experience, dot mode, calculate the mode. That is what you're saying. Let me run that. Mode happens to be 45. Simple, straightforward. Okay, so you know how to calculate mean, you know on how to calculate median, and you know on how to calculate mode. Mean, median, mode. What are these three called as? Measures of central tendency. These three are called as measures of central tendency. But question to you all. If I want to calculate mean for GMAT, say I want to calculate mean of GMAT, how should I write the function? What should be the function be? Please, can you all type on the chat window? I request everyone to chat on the type window. I want to calculate mean for GMAT. Already calculating mean for work experience is given here. Now I want to calculate mean for GMAT. Yep. Please use the chat window, friends. Let's see how many of y'all are really going to be, uh, data scientists moving further. Let me see how many of y'all are catching up with this. It's pretty easy, pretty simple, extremely straightforward. And let me go to your chat window and then see your responses here. Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. Great going, friends. Great going. So you guys are absolutely right. All you need to do is education dot work exp sorry, within education, refer to GMAT. So dot GMAT dot, what do you want? Say you want to calculate the mean. That's it. If you place your mouse cursor anywhere on the line and click on run, you have the average GMAT score. Wonderful. If you want to say calculate median, just say dot GMAT. So go to the education, go to this column called GMAT dot calculate the median. Done. All I need to do is place my mouse cursor anywhere on that line, absolutely, and then just click on run. There we go. Median GMAT score is 710. You can also calculate the mode of the dataset. How do you calculate the mode? Go to education. Within that, go to this GMAT column, dot mode, job done. 710 is the mode. You can also do it for data serial number. Doesn't matter. You can do it for anything whatsoever. Wonderful. We could just complete this. Yeah. Now, let us also quickly look at measures of dispersion. Right, measures of dispersion, but I doubt we will have time to actually delve deep into that. So what I would do is rather I would show you a few more functionalities of Python. Okay, say you forgot this function pd.read_csv. Say you forgot how to use a function to load your data set into Python. So what you can do then is there is an option here, a small option. If you are able to see that, let me highlight for you all this option here. This one, download option. If you click on that, it's going to open a pop-up window for you in this way. Once a pop-up window opens up, you just need to go to the folder and you need to select the dataset of your choice. Done. And then if you'll open up a pop-up window for you, you can change the name. If you say, no, I don't want the name to be education CSV, I want it to be only education, you can do that. Or if you want it to appear just as education as in edu as in education, you do that and then just click on next. Do not forget, you have to click on next, and you're importing as data. You just need to click on next. When you click on next, there is a preview on how your data set would appear. Here, remember one thing, I mean, of course, as part of our actual Python programming, etc., we explain on what is the difference between array, list, and data frame. That's out of scope for us. You need to select data frame. Like your photo frame, wherein you have your photo, we have data frame. wherein you have your data and just click on done. That's it. Look at that. It has loaded the data set. This is how simple it is. Python. It is not at all alarming, right? And data science is one of the most emerging fields. Amazing job opportunities we have.